Hey folks, Deano here again. This time taking another quick look at a Lightning Collection 2-pack. This one is In Space Red Ranger, also known as Andros, and Astronema, otherwise known as Karone, his sister. Yeah, one of the more interesting matchups in the Power Rangers franchise. A brainwashed, basically normal person who's been turned into the Apprentice of Evil, I believe her name was. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the box, shall we? So, get a nice picture of In Space Red there, In Space Red Ranger, Lightning Collection, and a nice picture there of Astronema. And both pictures go round the corner, quite decent. And a picture on the back of the two of them fighting. Didn't actually realise until I looked there, the effect piece that comes with it is a sort of clash effect piece. I just assumed it was for Astronema's staff, but there you go. Yeah, that face doesn't look great. The box is a bit battered. I got it off of AliExpress. Again, quite cheap. I think the only figures in this line that I've paid full price for is the remastered ones. Yeah, as you can see, I'm having a bit of trouble trying to stand Astronema up. But yeah, let's take a look at accessories, and boy are these fun. So you've got that clash effect, which, like I said, it does sort of just sit on Astronema's staff, and it will probably work for a lot of different things. You can see this sort of spiral that's deliberately made for his spiral saber. Can't remember the name of it offhand. Apologies. In terms of hands, Andros comes with a pair of gripping hands. He comes with a fist, which again, I love the fists. They always look like actual leather gloves. And a unique hand, which I've never seen on any other Lightning Collection release, a sort of pointing hand, which I believe is Andros' sort of signature pose. But yeah, in terms of Astronema, this is a fun one. She comes with a pair of fists, which are decent enough. They are unique sculpt to her. And a pair of gripping hands. And as I was swapping the gripping hand out, that one literally exploded in my hand. Yeah, something tells me this has been in a shop window for a while, because Astronema feels quite brittle, which is fun. Andros comes with his civilian head, which is one of the better looking heads, I have to say. It's even got his earring. So yeah. He also comes with his spiral saber, which I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's missing some details, but overall it gets the point across. And he also comes with his Astro Blaster, which again, decently enough detailed. Probably missing some details, but not enough that you would actually notice it. And finally, for accessories, is Astronema's sort of boomerang sort of thing. Soft rubbery plastic. It's got a bit of detail on it, which it would have to, because it just clips onto her thigh right there. And her staff, which I think is a bit shorter than it should be. But other than that, it's decently enough painted, he says as he drops it. But yeah, as I said, I've got it quite low down in her hands, because in the show, I'm sure she ground pounded it a few times, whereas if you have it up, normally it doesn't reach the floor. So yeah, all in all, accessories are decent, apart from the exploded hand. Fun. In terms of details, they're actually pretty decent, I'd be honest. The gold on the belt is decent enough. The helmet is one of the better helmets for in space that I've seen. A lot of them, you can just about see the seam line in the middle where the two halves meet. A lot of the in space figures, this is mismatched, which, yeah, not great, but I mean, I've got one of the better ones, can't complain. The yellow is okay, again lending to the fact that I think this has been in a store window. That yellow is starting to bubble a wee bit. This is what Time Force Red needed. Apologies, I've got the window open because it's absolutely roasting here, but needs must. So yeah, they've actually painted the butterfly joint on this guy, whereas with Time Force they just left it completely white. The squares decently painted, and the rest is just the plastic, because in space, the in space suits were surprisingly basic for what they were trying to get across. But yeah, in terms of Astronema, I am aware there's two versions of Astronema out there. One with the Clipter. This was the first outfit that she wore though, so I would much rather have this version on the shelf. Plus the fact that it comes with another Red Ranger for the display. But yeah, Astronema's okay, but she's not great. You can kind of see the actress in there. But yeah, not too bad. The top piece, unfortunately, isn't painted silver, so it's that sort of cheap grey plastic that they tend to use, which conflicts with her wrist gauntlets, which are painted a nice, not metallic, but sort of greyish silver. Her body is painted with the details. I believe the other version of Astronema, this is all sculpted detail instead, but this still gets the point across. But yeah, all in all, decent enough looking figure, but surprisingly brittle. Yeah, in terms of articulation, let's start off with Astronema. Since we've got her in a hand, she can't really look anywhere because of that hair. It does move slightly, but you're kind of restricted with what she can do. The arms are the old school female ranger mould, but it still gets decent enough range up the way. Shoulder armour sort of stops it there. You've got an elbow swivel, under 90 degrees bend, hinge at the wrist. There we go. Standard diaphragm joint for the female figure. She can go back to the point that she's breaking her back. She goes forward, though not as much, surprisingly. I don't know why these joints aren't reversed. It would make sense if you can get more range forward than back, but it's Hasbro, what are you going to do? Old style pin hips, so she can kick up that far. Thigh swivel. double joint at the knee. Because she doesn't have a long boot, the cut's down here. And the Hasbro ankle system, which I am kind of afraid of on this figure, I'm going to be honest. This boot has an issue where it doesn't actually sit where it's supposed to, so she tends to fall forwards. Fun times. In terms of Andros, the helmet is actually the easiest one to pop off so far. It's a lot harder to get the civilian head on though. Yeah. I'm not putting that on any further. I'm not risking breaking it. Sorry, folks. But the helmet goes on easy enough. So you can look up that far. Down, non-existent. Because it's an older style figure, the helmets sit way lower on the neck than they probably should. If you get it to where it probably should be, he does get a bit of down movement. So yeah, butterfly joint, hinge at the elbow, the shoulder. I'm getting ahead of myself. Full rotation. Because it's an older figure, it doesn't quite sit flush with the body. Bicep swivel. Double joint at the elbow. Gets good range. Hinge at the wrist. Diaphragm joint. Gets the usual range. Can go forward that much. That's a really tight joint. Go back that far. There we go. You can go side to side using the diaphragm joint. Pin system at the legs. Can kick up that far. Thigh swivel. Double joint at the knees, which is actually really good in this figure. Can get about 180. Boot cut. And the easiest ones to move so far for the ankle joint, which gets really good range. So yeah, all in all, guys, I really like this 2-pack, especially